Hi everyone. Hi there. It's today again, a beautiful day. Today it's Friday, the weekend. I'm going to say firstly, welcome, welcome, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. What am I pretending to be? Welcome to my channel. Welcome, welcome to my channel. I'm trying to be a robot. I'm trying to be a robot. So, first and foremost, I'm going to say a big, massive, humongous thank you to everybody that viewed, to everybody that interacted, to everybody that shared. Stephanie is out there. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Our mind was blown away. It was in fact, I was blown away. So, a massive thank you to everybody who tuned in, who viewed, who shared, who commented. Thank you, guys. Um, you know what we usually do? You know what we did yesterday? We did a subscribe, like, share. Subscribe, like, share. We now have action. Like, subscribe, share. Can you join me in now? Join in. Subscribe, like, share. Subscribe, like, share. Subscribe, like, share. Subscribe, like, share. Now, everybody, can you start subscribing? Can you, if you're on YouTube watching this, subscribe? If you're on Facebook, it's Facebook Live. So like and share or organize a host party. Just click the button. It's just a click of the button. And thank you. It was because you shared, because you liked it, that we had so many views yesterday. So thank you, everybody. So now that we've done our subscribing, we are going to go into, guess what? Who can guess what we are going to do next? We are going to travel with our imagination. Before we travel, I'm going to give a few shout outs. Hello, Toby. I hear you're there. It's good to see you tuning in. Thank you. Stephanie, I've already shouted out to Stephanie. And Rita is here again. Thank you, everybody. So let's join in our imagination. We're going to travel. Travel. Who would like to travel? I would like to travel. I had so much fun yesterday. But come on then, let's travel. And even though we're all on lockdown, we can go places. So we're just going to do that today. Close your eyes. Imagine you're all dressed up and you're in the car. There's a little clue there. Your mom puts your suitcase in the trunk of the boot of the car, and you're all going now in the car. That is driving. He's going at 70 miles an hour, and you're driving on the motorway on the M25. You're going, and you ask the question, are we there yet? And that says, not yet, darling, not yet, son. We're still on our way. And you grunt, you groan, but you continue going, and you're driving, and dad is driving. And guess what? He parks the car, and then you can see aeroplanes everywhere, in the sky, in the hangar. It's the airport. People are walking. They are in a hurry. They need to go. They don't want to miss their flight. And you guys, you're on time, but you don't want to miss your flight too. So you kind of hurry and you check in. And then you go through. After checking in, you're going to where you need to board your aircraft. And guess what? You can see the shops, and you say to dad, I'm hungry. even though you had just eaten before stepping out of the house. And Dad said, what do you want? You said, ice cream. What's your favorite ice cream? Mine is vanilla, and I get some vanilla ice cream. You get your favorite, and you keep going. And this holiday you're having a massive, beautiful time. You're excited. Dad hasn't told you yet where you're going to. You step into the aircraft. My goodness, it's humongous. It's massive. My goodness, it looks so tiny up in the air, but look at it. It is so big. You get in, you get strapped, and the pilot starts to take off. He goes slowly. He's going up the aircraft, and whoosh! You're up in the air. You can see the clouds. It's beautiful from up there. You look down. Oh, the patterns, it's all different shades of green and yellow, and you can see the ocean. Oh my, this is mind-boggling. It's beautiful. And then you fall asleep. And when you wake up, it's time to strap again, and the pilot is about to land the aircraft. And he starts going slowly, 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 and bump! That was bumpy, wasn't it? That was a bumpy landing. I'll tell you where we landed next week, Monday, because we're going to be reading 2 stories every weekday from now to the end of lockdown. So I'll tell you where we landed, and we'll continue with our journey, with our imagination. Did you like that? Did you like going on the aircraft, seeing the clouds, looking down, looking at the sea, the different patterns down below? I did. I had so much fun. So for today, we're going to read 2 stories. I hear Nabuzo is there. Kenny, hello Kenny, how are you? It's good to know you are there. One day you're going to read with me, Kenny. Okay, so we're going to read a story. Like I said yesterday, it's 2 stories. We're going to read 1 story from this book. It's called 100 Bible Stories. So we'll read 1 story from this book. And we're going to read another story, but I'm not going to tell you the name just yet. I want you to guess. And I'm going to give you a clue. The clue is the main character is a frog. And his surname is Fisher. Fisher. So if you think you know the book or you've read it before, put it down in the comment section and we'll see who was able to find, who knew the name of the book, who guessed it right. So put it down in the comment section, and then let's get started with our first story for today. Our first story is one of my favorites. It's Samuel. Samuel was a little boy who lived with Eli, the high priest at the temple in Shiloh, where the Ark of the Covenant was kept. Samuel's mother Hannah had promised God that her son would serve him all his life and learn how to be a priest one day. Eli was a good man who looked after Samuel lovingly. He had 2 other sons who were not quite good. How sad is that? One night, the little boy was woken by Eli calling his name. Yeah, he thought it was Eli. Here I am, Samuel called, and hurried to see what the high priest wanted. It wasn't me who called you, said Eli, quite confused. Go back to bed, son. But a while later, Samuel was again woken by Eli, calling his name. Here I am, he cried again. He thought it was Eli, and he dashed off to find Eli. It wasn't me who called you, Eli reassured Samuel. Now, go back to bed like a good boy. But an hour or so later, he heard the voice call again. It said, Samuel, Samuel. And Samuel rushed off once more to Eli. Samuel, the old high priest said quietly, I think it must be God who is calling you. And I think you're going to hear him again. The next time it happens, don't come and find me. Instead, call out, Speak, Lord, your servant is listening. Can we all say it? Speak, Lord, your servant is listening. Samuel went back and lay down on his bed in the darkness. And sure enough, the voice came again. Samuel! Samuel! Speak, Lord, your servant is listening, Samuel replied, just as Eli had taught him. God spoke to Samuel, and he gave him a very difficult message to give the old high priest. In the morning, Samuel was afraid to tell Eli what God had said. When he finally did, the high priest wasn't angry with him. Instead, he hung his head in shame and sadness. Let God do what he thinks is right, the old man said humbly. That was the first of many messages that God gave Samuel. For Samuel grew up to be a great prophet who became the ruler of Israel and was known throughout the land for always speaking the truth. Did you like that story? What was your favorite part? Let me know. My favorite part was when God called out Samuel. Samuel! Samuel! And he said, Speak, Lord, your servant is listening. We're going to do a little role play. So if you're out there, I know Toby, Ola, Stephanie is out there. So please, can you put your name down so that we do a little role play? I'm going to call out your names and you say, Speak, Lord, your child is listening, or your daughter is listening, or your son is listening. So I'm going to call out the names one by one now. Toby! Toby! You say, Speak, Lord, your son is listening. I'm going to go, Ola! Ola! I'm going to call Stephanie. Yes. Stephanie! Stephanie! Speak, Lord, your daughter is listening. That was my favorite part. I hope you liked it. Now we are going to read our second story for today. Did you guess it right? Did anybody guess it? I didn't see anybody put anything down. So, drum roll. The story is called, it's another classic, Mr. Jeremy Fisher. Mr. Jeremy Fisher. So yes, I'm going to read this one today and I'm looking forward to doing this. It's by Beatrix Potter from the authorized animated series based on the original tales by Beatrix Potter. So here we go. Once upon a time, there was a frog called Mr. Jeremy Fisher. He lived in a little damp house amongst the buttercups at the edge of a pond. There he is. He's a really important man, I think. Mr. Jeremy Fisher looked out of his window one morning and was very pleased to see large drops of rain. I will get some worms and go fishing and catch a dish of minnows for my tea, he said. If I catch more than 5 fish, I will invite my friends, Mr. Alderman Ptolemy and Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton is actually a very important man in history. He was an important man in history. So I'm going to give you all an assignment for next week. Find out one thing about Sir Isaac Newton. Will you do that for me? That will be fantastic. Mr. Jeremy Fisher dug up some fine worms to use as bait. Then he put on a Macintosh and a pair of shiny galoshes. Shiny galoshes. I'll show you this picture. He's really loving his Macintosh and galoshes. Do you know what a galosh means? A galosh means it's a kind of rubber boot that you put over your shoes so that your shoes don't get wet. He set off hops, boats, a round green lily leaf in the middle of the pond. Using a reed pole, Mr. Jeremy pushed the boat out onto open water. I know a good place for minnows, he said. Mr. Jeremy Fisher sat for nearly an hour with the rain trickling down his back, and there was no sign of any minnows. Have you ever sat still for 1 hour, Kenny? Has anyone ever sat still for 1 hour? I don't know. This is getting tiresome. I think I should like some lunch, he said. I will eat a butterfly sandwich and wait until the shower is over. Ew, that's disgusting. A butterfly sandwich? No way. Would you like a butterfly sandwich? Nah, not for me. Sorry. While Mr. Jeremy was enjoying his lunch, a great big water beetle came up underneath the lily leaf and tweaked the toe of one of his galoshes. Oh dear. I smell trouble. Yes, no, I haven't also. I smell trouble. Trouble. What a nuisance. I think I had better get away from here, he said, shoving the boat away a little and dropping in his bait. Oh dear. Someone is not a happy bunny. No, not Jeremy Fisher. There was a bite almost immediately. A minnow! I have him by the nose, cried Mr. Jeremy Fisher, jerking up his rod. Somebody's getting excited. Oh dear indeed. But what a horrible surprise. Instead of landing a smooth, fat minnow, Mr. Jeremy had caught little Jack Sharp, the stickleback, covered with spines. Mr. Jeremy was rather disheartened. It's not what he bargained for. That's not what he wanted. You can see him all pent up and annoyed. But as he sat on his boat, peering into the water, something much worse happened. Much worse. Oh dear. Uh-oh. Can you see what's underneath? Can you see it's a trout underneath his lily pad? Okay. Underneath his boat locked an enormous trout. It seized Mr. Jeremy with a snap. Ow! 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 Somebody is still not happy. Luckily, the trout was so displeased with the taste of the Macintosh that in less than half a minute, it spat him out again. It did, however, swallow his galoshes. Those galoshes were special to him. Yes, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. They were so super, super special, and now the trout has them in his tummy. Somebody is going to be very cross, I tell you. Mr. Jeremy swam with all his might to the edge of the pond and scrambled up the bank, feeling very shaken. I have lost my rod and basket, but it does not matter much, for I am sure I shall never, never dare go fishing again. I said, somebody is cross. Mr. Jeremy waited for his friends to arrive. He could not offer them fish, but he had something else in his larder. Sir Isaac, I told you he was a very important man in history. Find out one thing about him, and you bring it with you next week Monday, and we talk about it. Sir Isaac wore his black gold waistcoat, and Mr. Alderman Tulemi brought a salad with him in a string bag. Very important people. That's Sir Isaac. That's him there. Instead of a nice dish of minnows, they had with ladybird sauce, which is a lovely, lovely treat for frogs. Again, I'll say disgusting. Ladybird sauce? Who likes that? I don't like that, do you? That brings us to the end of today's reading. Thank you everyone for joining in. What was your favorite part? Mine again was Samuel. Samuel being called by God. Samuel, 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 Samuel. I absolutely love that story. Thanks for joining in. I'm so appreciative. Just a couple of things. Remember, we are back next week, Monday by 11:30. We're here every weekday, reading 2 stories. And where we cannot read the stories that they will try and do, and I'll try and do an upload. And if I can't, this is my cop out. I'll communicate. Okay. So yes, thank you everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and let's protect the NHS and the health system for the countries where we live in. So thank you everybody. Don't forget to hit the share button. Thank you. See you next week. Bye. Take care. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.